Good morning. Oh, no, it is not morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Philip here, RiverTown Chiropractic. I am so excited to be coming back. This is our third weekly event doing these question and answer sessions here live right in our private St. John's Social Community Group. This is our VIP group, so if you are in here, we are considering you one of our VIPs. So I appreciate everyone that's in here. Love that you're here. We're always thinking about you and thinking about ways that we can improve this group and help bring more value to you guys so that we can improve the quality of life for everyone within our community. So you'll notice today I'm doing things a little differently. I'm using a new piece of software, so you can see we've got our little logo right up here and my name's right down here. If you are going to be doing any comments, I can see these live right here on the software. You just need to click the little link in the description and allow Ecamm Live to be able to send your comments through to my screen so I can see everything live. So I hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas and New Year and are getting off on the right start into 2021. Myself and Dr. Angela, we have started going through the weight loss program that we offer here at the office, and I've already lost quite a bit of weight. I'm not going to share anything yet until after the first week is done, but I'm pretty surprised with how much weight I've already lost this the first 4 or 5 days on the program. So can't wait to keep you updated on the results that I'm getting there and be able to share additional people's results as we're getting more people onboarded as far as wanting to get healthier and lose weight and get in better shape for 2021. Okay, so as you guys know, when we do these question and answer sessions, as you guys submit questions into the Facebook group, every time you do, I write them on one of these little Post-it notes, and they go right into this fishbowl where I keep all these questions until yours gets picked. So if you do not get picked on the same week that you ask a question, don't worry, it's right in here, and you always have a chance to win some free money. I've also, instead of using the digital wheel of money, I've got our physical one right here. So as I pick these questions from the fishbowl, once I've done asking the question and answering it, we are going to spin the money wheel. Whatever the money wheel lands on, this one is on $20. So if this would have been your question, you would have won $20, and I would get that sent over to you via Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, whatever works best for you. We get that sent over to you as soon as possible, and then you get to do something fun with that free extra money in your pocket. So let's get going with our first question this week for the first week in 2021. So the first question here I have is from Chevette Williams. And the question is, what foods should be avoided to lower inflammation in your body? So that is a great question. Thank you, Chevette, for asking that. There's a lot of foods that can cause a lot of inflammation in our bodies, most notably processed foods. So anything that comes in a prepackaged box, most stuff that's coming frozen as like a prepackaged meal from the frozen section, it's going to be high in pro-inflammatory products, a lot of wheat, a lot of gluten, a lot of omega-6 fatty acids, preservatives. Those are things that are not meant to be in our body. And because we're putting these foreign substances in, it's going to create a lot of inflammation because the body's going to start attacking these molecules that are in our food, and that creates a lot of that inflammation, that swelling, pain, discomfort. So much of chronic disease that we are seeing now, especially in the United States society, is coming from chronic inflammation. So what I would recommend as far as anti-inflammatory foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, things with lots of color. If you can, I always would recommend getting organic versus getting traditional, or especially versus getting like genetically modified, because even those genetically modified, yes, there's some research out there that you see that says, oh, it's just as fine as organic, but at the same time, these genetically processed foods, they're foreign. We are literally manipulating the DNA of these foods that have been around for thousands of years, and now we're reintroducing a brand new thing into our bodies that historically is foreign. So our bodies have a very difficult time noticing these foods as real food, and so your body can start to attack these, and this can create a lot of autoimmune diseases. So organic, bright colors. If you're going to do meat, I know Chevette in particular, I'm pretty sure she's vegan or vegetarian, so she's not going to do a lot of meat. But if you're going to do meat, grass-fed beef, I would do pasture-raised, no antibiotics. The biggest thing to look out for is fish. Fish, if you go and it says it's farmed fish, as much as you can, I would not eat that, especially when it comes to farmed salmon. You will notice on farmed salmon, if you hold a piece of farmed salmon compared to wild caught salmon next to each other, that wild caught salmon is significantly darker. The reason that is, that wild caught salmon is eating krill, which are these little tiny little shrimp things. This thing those huge whales eat too. But those are red colored. That's what gives the salmon meat that red color to it. Your farmed salmon, those are all fed pellets. And the only reason that that farmed salmon is pink, and it's even like a light orange, it's not really pink or red like a lot of the wild caught salmon, is because they actually put artificial dyes, food coloring in those pellets. That's the only reason that that meat actually has color to it. Otherwise it would be gray and disgusting looking, and people wouldn't buy it. So stay away from farmed salmon. Just spend the extra money. If you're gonna have salmon, get wild caught. It's gonna be so much better for you, and it's much higher in omega-3s than omega-6s. Omega-3 fatty acids are going to help decrease inflammation in your body. Omega-6 fatty acids are actually going to increase the inflammation in your diet. So I hope that helps, Chevette, with your question on foods that should be avoided. Basically, at the end of the day, anything processed. When I go shopping at the stores, unless I need something very specific, I don't go down any of the aisles. You want to perimeter shop. Just go around the outside of the store. That's where all the healthy food is. So now we are going to spin our handy dandy money wheel and see how much money you get today, Chevette. So, woo, 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 woo. All right. That's 20 bucks, Chevette. So I think I got your information from last time. We got that sent over to you, so I can get you sent over that other $20 today. It'll go straight into your bank account. So congratulations, Chevette. Thank you so much for participating and submitting your questions. If anyone else wants to win some free money, like literally $20 just for asking a question, ask your questions. That way I can actually get them answered for you, and you can win some free money. Question number 2 now. We'll go back to the fishbowl here. This one is coming from Tajahira Velez. Thank you so much for participating and asking a question, submitting it in. Your question was, is there a cushion to sit on that can help the hips? So give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab something that we use here every single day for our clients that helps a lot. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. So this is what we have all of our clients that come in here for regular chiropractic care. They're going to be sitting on one of these to get their spines warmed up before we do our treatments. It helps us to do our job with as little force as possible. This is called, if you go on Amazon, it's called a wobble disc or a stability disc. I'm pretty sure these are only like 20 bucks on Amazon, so it is very, very inexpensive. What this does is this is going to help, it's going to help get your body to start using the small stabilization muscles within the hips, the pelvis, the low back that we typically do not use on a regular basis because we're just sitting here on our stiff chairs, not having to use any of the muscles. This creates a little bit of an unstable surface, so you're constantly having to move and adjust, and it's going to help engage those stabilization muscles to help increase the strength in the pelvis and the lumbar spine as well as your core, and that's going to help stabilize that area, make it more functional, and it will help decrease the pain. As your muscles get stronger, things will not feel as tight. They won't feel as much pain. They will not be as tender, and you will get additional flexibility. So this is what I would get. Tajahira is a stability disc or a wobble disc. Like I said, you can get these right on Amazon. They're about 20 bucks. Prime 2-day shipping. You can't go wrong with that. Literally, we use these every single day in our office. So I hope that answers your question. There's lots of other things you can get. This is just what I would recommend. It's very inexpensive. It's incredibly effective. So pick up one of these on Amazon, and your back and your hips will definitely be happier for it. So now it's your turn. We are going to spin the wheel of money. Go, 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 go. All right. You have just won $5, Tajahira. I will make sure and reach out to you again. I'm pretty sure I have your information from last time. So we'll get that $5 sent over to you. Go straight into your bank account. Thank you so much for participating, getting this question in. I hope this is helpful and you're getting some value from this, because now you are actually going to be getting an additional $5. So you're getting 5, Chevette 120. We got one more question. So back here to our fish bowl. Shake them up. We're going to pick one more. All right, this one is coming from Catalina Andoni. Thank you, Catalina, for participating and submitting a question where we get to answer your questions live right here in the Facebook group, and you get to win some free money. So your question is, what is the youngest age that someone can see a chiropractor? That is actually a really good question, because a lot of people think that kids should not get adjusted. I mean, even if you go, like, I'm pretty sure in Australia, it's they have it illegal to adjust kids under a certain age, but that is incredibly false. You can adjust kids seconds after birth. So I can't think of a single chiropractor that I know that as soon as their child is born, they are not checking their spine to see if they need an adjustment. Now, the biggest thing to remember when we are adjusting an infant, it is not the same as what you see on YouTube with the big twist them up like a pretzel, snap, crackle, pop type adjustments. It is incredibly gentle, very soft, and super light touches, only using your fingertips. And the reason that people would want to have their kids adjusted so soon right after birth, when you think about it, that is the most traumatic thing that tiny human has been through up until that point in their life. Before, they were in this nice, almost gravity-free environment in the womb and the placenta. And then when they go through traditional childbirth at a hospital, as they're coming out through the pelvis, those doctors have forceps, clamps, they're grabbing onto the head, twisting, pulling, tons of tension on their neck and their spine. And so that can create a lot of issues like torticollis, and colic. The kids are just uncomfortable. Their body just doesn't know how to communicate and be able to regulate itself. That's why a lot of times kids can have a hard time getting their what's called an APGAR score. So this is the score, like the redness in their face, like how much they cry, things like that say how healthy a baby is after they're born. So that's the youngest that you can see is right after birth. The youngest I have seen personally, because I don't have any kids of my own yet, is 3 days old. That's the youngest that I've seen. They had the baby. Once they got out of the hospital, they brought her in, had me get her checked. And the reason that they were so into chiropractic is their older child, when she was about 4 or 5, mom had been coming in getting adjusted for a really long time. And all of a sudden she asked me one day, she's like, "Do you guys adjust kids?" And I just looked at her and said, "Why do you ask?" And, her answer was, "Well, my little girl here, she hasn't pooped in 5 days." And I said, "Okay, well, that's a problem." And so my first area to look was going to her low back, because in the lower part of the back, and the lumbar spine is what it's called, that's where a lot of the nerves go into the digestive system. So the large intestine, small intestine can create things like constipation and diarrhea. And so we checked her. I found some stuff going on in the upper part of her low back, gave her some very gentle adjustments because she was so young yet. And then I told Mom, I said, okay, make sure you get home pretty soon, because if this works the way that things felt like it moved really well, she's probably going to be going to the bathroom a lot as soon as you get home. And she came back the next day and she said, I am so glad you told me to get home when we did, because when we got home, it was just like a chocolate fountain. It just kept on coming. And she's feeling so much better now that she was able to go. And ever since then, they had continued getting chiropractic care for the entire family, and then all of the new family members as well. So yeah, the youngest, right after birth, that's 0 minutes old. That's how young you can start seeing child patients. Now, the oldest I've also seen, if we want to go to the opposite end of the spectrum, the oldest I have personally seen is 97 years old. So I have seen complete both ends of the spectrum, super young, and on the other older spectrum. Everyone can get it. It's just depending on the individual. We have to alter how we do things to make sure it's safe. With the older population, we do have to be careful about fractures, because they can get osteoporosis, osteopenia, softer bones. You can get fractures. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. If something is going to go wrong in a chiropractic adjustment, which is incredibly rare, the one thing that would be a rib fracture. So we're always very careful when we have our older patients and adjust things so that that does not happen. So thank you, Catalina, for your question. Now it's your turn to spin the wheel of money. So get this bad boy spinning. And you just won $5. So I'm gonna reach out, make sure I have your either your Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, whatever it is that you use best to get this money over to you. I'm gonna get that $5 sent over you. I'll make that note right here. So I've got our 3 winners from today. So we've got Tajahira, Chevette, and Catalina. Thank you guys so much for submitting your questions. Anyone that's watching, I do see a few people watching. If you want to have a chance at winning some money next week, make sure you get those questions in between now and next week, Wednesday at 1 p.m. This is where we are going to be doing this every single week for the foreseeable future, answering your questions live right here on Facebook within our VIP group, giving you some free money, and helping to improve the quality of life of our community. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. Until next week, peace.